Good evening. Welcome to JazzTalk, an education program from the Center for the Performing Arts. I'm Julia, and I'm the Director of Education and Community Engagement at the Center. Now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Center before we get started, because I know we have folks joining us from all over the United States. I'm going to guess you've not had a chance to join us in person yet. We are located just north of Indianapolis, Indiana, in the beautiful city of Carmel. And our Performing Arts campus consists of 3 different venues. We have our beautiful concert hall, the Palladium, and that's where Matthew Whitaker is going to be performing later this month. Across the green space, we have another building that houses our Tarkington Theater, which is our 500-seat proscenium arch theater, and then the studio, which is our 200-seat black box. We present artists from all over the world in multiple genres, and we are fortunate enough to have 6 different resident companies. We hope you join us very soon at a performance. Now, tonight, we know you're going to have lots of wonderful questions, and we can't wait to hear what those are. And we don't want you to have to hold them till the end. If one jumps into your mind, please feel free to type it in. If you're joining us on Zoom, if you put your cursor down over the bottom, you'll see a little Q&A function. If you don't mind, go ahead and type your questions in there. You can type them anytime during the program, but we will come to those at the end of the conversation. And then if you're joining us on Facebook, please feel free to put your questions in the comment sections and we'll get to those. Now, our 2 special folks tonight are Todd Williams, who is our Jazz Talk host. He is a sought-after saxophonist, clarinetist, flautist, and clinician. He is known for his work with the Wynton Marsalis Quintet, Septet, and Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra. Todd is an assistant professor of music education at Indiana Wesleyan University, where he directs the jazz ensemble and jazz combo. He also recently received his doctorate in music education at Indiana University's Jacobs School of Music. A former music director at Times Square Church in New York, he has penned a variety of gospel choral works, including the international favorite, We Proclaim Him. He has toured the world and played venues from the White House to Carnegie Hall to the Hollywood Bowl, and has appeared with such artists as Harry Connick Jr., Jon Hendricks, Terrell Stafford, Marcus Roberts, Slide Hampton, and Christian McBride. Todd is a 4-time recipient of ASCAP's Plus Award for Composers. His latest recording, jazz recording, Lift Up Your Heads, is now available. Now, our special guest is Matthew Whitaker. He is a musical prodigy who is just 21 years old and has been performing in the public eye for more than a decade at venues including the Apollo Theater, Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, and Kennedy Center. He plays not only the piano, but the organ and drums, and he's appeared on The Today Show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, and 60 Minutes. Matthew's love of music first began at the young age of 3 after his grandfather gave him a small Yamaha keyboard. At 9, Matthew began teaching himself how to play the Hammond B3 organ, and 4 years later, he became the youngest artist to be endorsed by Hammond in its 80-plus year history. He was also named the Yamaha Artist at 15, becoming the youngest musician to join the stellar group of jazz pianists. Whitaker's 3rd album, Connections, features cameos by Jon Batiste and other artists on original tunes and interpretations of classics from musical heroes, including Duke Ellington, Stevie Wonder, Chick Corea, and Thelonious Monk. And we are just so excited to have Matthew join us tonight, and Todd. Welcome to both of you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Can we be seen and heard?
You are both seen and heard, and I'm going to turn off my camera and let you two do.
All right. Hey, Matthew.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to see you and to hear you, and
Yes,
and
sir.
to have this opportunity to chat. I'm excited to get into it, man.
Yes,
And
sir.
as a fellow musician, I love that, that major 7.
Yeah.
Get started,
Gotta have a 13 in there, right?
That's right. That's
Shout out
right.
to everyone who is watching on Facebook and on Zoom. Welcome to all of you guys. Yeah, feel free to
Yes,
interact in the comments and in the Q&A section as well.
that's right. Type it on the line.
Type
Type it
it.
on the line.
Yeah.
So I was hoping maybe we could we start by talking about repertoire?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I was thinking, obviously I've checked out your videos,
Thank
and
you.
when I hear you play, I'm thinking, okay, this guy is not a novice. This guy has studied lots of music and lots of different styles, lots of different compositions. And so I was wondering, what have been your most educational compositions, whether it could be a blues tunes, could be classical, could be when you've played music in the past, what do you think about that really had the most educative effect on you when you were learning those pieces? Like what was it for you?
Well, I guess this might count. There was this one song that, um, okay, so is it possible if I can do, I can talk about an arrangement if that's all right.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's this arrangement that I did for one assignment I did at Juilliard, which I'm currently at. I'm in my third year, and in
Okay.
my second year, um, the assignment was to do an arrangement of a jazz tune, but do it in a Latin style,
Okay.
in my theory slash composition class,
Hmm.
and really, I guess what's educational about it is like we were learning about you know how to do the those types of patterns on piano and how to write a mambo section in the horns and all that with the rhythm section.
Yeah.
And it turned out really well to the point where my teacher was like, hey, you should put it on your album. And and with
That's
connections,
yeah.
it worked out. So that the song Janine, that's the one that has that that element in there.
Okay. So Janine, as in the same Janine that Cannonball Adderley
Yeah,
played with. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that one, yeah. So that it all started from a school assignment.
Oh, that's a great connection. Wow,
There it
that's
is.
fantastic. And you've had experience with classical music as well.
Mhm.
Who are some of the favorites that you've liked playing their compositions? Who are some favorites?
That's a hard one. I think Chopin, Debussy. Who else? Man, there's so many. Liszt.
Oh, okay.
I
Franz
love
Liszt.
Liszt. Yeah, Franz Liszt. But even people who just take the traditional elements and just make it their own, really.
That's right.
Because I'm all about finding new ways of incorporating other elements or other ideas. So,
Personal interpretations, would you
mm,
say?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, man, I heard a little bit of connections, and you guys are laying it out, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, this
Yeah,
is, I heard, Regina's on there, Regina
yeah.
Carter, Jon Batiste. You got this guy, this producer guy who's like fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, the whole project seemed like it was a real thumbs up.
Thank
And
you so much.
and
Yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna be
whatever.
doing songs off the right there at the show as well. So really excited
Oh,
about that.
so were you when you were thinking about the title Connections, were you thinking like connections both, personal places? Like what kind of
Yeah,
what were you thinking,
yeah. I think you hit it, but I feel like connections is really about the connections I have with other artists and their connections with me musically and spiritually. So
Okay.
and I was so happy that we were able to get a lot of people, you know, in the studio, especially during this COVID, era, you
Yeah, that
know,
was like impossible to get people together, right?
right?
So, yeah.
Yeah, we recorded it, I believe in March of last year. Yeah, but March of last year, and then released it in the summertime. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. It's great use of time, right?
right there you go.
All right. So, um, when I saw you, you did a performance in
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis, and
Mm,
that's my hometown, St. Louis, by the way.
mm.
And you guys were at Jazz St. Louis, the club downtown,
Oh,
and
great club.
that's a great
Great
venue, right?
club. Yeah.
It's like, and they do other stuff there too. They do programs for youth. They do all sorts of
Yeah.
community outreach programs. I knew the guy who was the director there for a long time, and he
Mm.
put on some great shows. And I got to perform there with Terrell Stafford.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so that was a lot of fun. But seeing you there with your band, I noticed that you played piano, you played keyboard, you played Hammond B3, and you were just killing on all of them.
Thank
So
you.
tell me about how you got started on Hammond B3.
Yeah, so really, I got started on organ at church, really, just hearing it, growing up, listening to it a lot. And one
Yeah.
day, I would just go to, because we had a secondary organ on the side of right on the side in the overflow section of the church,
Okay.
and every time I would get on there, my parents were like, "Nah, get off that thing." It's because it's after church, people want to
That's
go
right.
home,
That's
and
right.
but with us, we love to hang after.
That's when it starts.
And right, exactly. And our pastor at the time was like, let him stay on, let him just play and do
Oh,
his thing.
great.
And ever since then, it led to me having a small organ. It wasn't I don't think it was a Hammond, or maybe it was a Hammond, but it was like a smaller type organ which fit
I see.
upstairs. It,
Okay.
at first we had it in the living room, but then we moved it to the dining room out of all places. And then later on, we got an A100,
Okay.
um, which is similar to a B3, except the wood is a bit different and its size
Okay.
is a tad smaller, but the same controls, same sound,
Yeah. It's got
and
all the slides and all that stuff on it.
yeah, all that.
Okay.
And
Nice.
I taught myself on that. So really, it was the A100 that
Yeah.
started all of this.
Yeah, I
um,
hear you, man. Well, I tell
yeah.
you what, man, the Hammond B3 is such a beautiful instrument. The only downside with the Hammond B3 is that it is one of the heaviest instruments you'd ever not want to pick up.
Right, unless you have something that's lighter that has the same sound
That's
or as
right.
close as possible, but
Yeah.
nowadays don't hurt your back.
That's it. That's it. That's
Right?
it. Okay, so all right. So, did you find any, in all seriousness, did you find any challenges on that instrument that
Mm,
different than the
no,
piano?
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I think not. Because like for me, like I just love exploring and finding new ways to interact musically. So for me, I was just like, okay, let's go for it.
Oh yeah, man.
Especially when you have both both sets of keyboards and the pedals and
That's
so many
right.
ways of shaping your sound. You just
Yeah, you got your
just go
feet
for it.
going, you got your hands going, you got one hand playing a chord, one hand pulling a slide, then you jump back on, and then you put another timbre on,
Exactly.
and you're just moving, man. It's like an all-in-one kind of deal. But I tell you what, though, tell me a little bit about your band because
Yeah.
you had some really great guys. I saw a couple of videos.
Thank you.
Uh, this guy, I think his last name is Robertson on guitar.
Marcos, yes,
Yeah,
Marcos
Marcos
Robinson,
Robertson. Yeah.
Kareem Hutton.
Uh,
Uh, let's see.
yeah. Who else are you playing with?
I have Ivan Giannis on percussion, and also Isaiah Johnson on drums, and also Johnny Steele on drums. I've been playing with him as well, and
Nice.
all of these guys are just really amazing, and I really appreciate each
Yeah.
and every one of them for because I met Marcos, Kareem, and Isaiah back in the end of 2018. A friend of
Okay.
ours, Nat Townsley, he's a drummer.
Okay.
He introduced me to these guys because I wanted a quartet.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
before I was playing with a trio, and I said, hey, it would be nice if we could have
Another voice happening.
a guitar and a bass and a drums. Just yeah, and we met. We had rehearsal, and since the first rehearsal, we were locked in, and it was it,
Nice.
it was great because our first show was a few days after that. So literally January.
Oh yeah, that's the way
at
to do it,
Birdland.
man.
Yeah,
That's real jazz, man.
exactly. Meet and play.
That's right.
Meet and
That's
hit.
right. That's right. We can talk about it later. So, so this is something that you prefer then. You prefer, I'm asking you, you prefer to have a set group as opposed to, kind of pickup band, that type of thing.
Well, I
What?
mean, either or could work because like I've had great experiences, especially when I've performed in venues where okay, where you have to play with a band that's playing with you. And look, I
Right.
mean, I'm all for it because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's more connections, hence
That's
the
right.
new record connections, and, and also it's just great just to just play with other musicians,
Yeah.
and learn from them, and we learn from each other, how how things go,
Yeah. I saw, yeah. So the one I saw at the Apollo, you were playing with the studio band.
Yeah,
And
house band, yeah,
they were killing it too. I mean, they were
yeah.
right
They
in there,
see,
They were
yeah.
right in there. So all right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Lonnie
hmm
Liston Smith.
Dr. Lonnie Smith.
Dr. Lonnie Smith. I'm
It's all right.
sorry.
Everybody mixes up the two of them. It's
Oh, okay.
okay.
Okay. So
Yeah,
but you said
I met him when I was really young, I think. And I've been listening to him ever since I first started playing the organ.
wow.
And
Hmm.
really, he was one of my favorite organists to listen to because the way he plays, and
Hmm.
I can pull up an example if you want, um, but basically how he plays and like the way he's just able to leave space while just
Yeah.
still doing his thing, and he's so dynamic with the instrument as well, and I always try to really go after that vibe.
Sure.
And a lot of other people like Jimmy Smith, all the Jimmys, Jimmy McGriff.
That's
Uh,
right.
it is if you're a Jimmy, you play organ. Let's be just
That's how
being
you do
honest.
it. It must
Charles
come in nature.
Erland, Rhoda Scott, everybody. You know, there's a
Wow.
lot of great artists that I love that play that instrument and other instruments as well. But yeah.
Well, tell me this. So, like with keyboard instruments, I've always
Mhm.
wondered, and I've talked to other keyboard instruments about this because of the fact that you don't necessarily have, you're not using your breath to physically play the instrument.
Unless you have a now there is actually like if you right, if we were talking about MIDI right before the session started.
Yeah,
There is a MIDI controller that actually like you can blow into that and it's able to detect all that, and you can just basically blow into it like the a wind instrument, and you
sure.
play a keyboard just like normal.
Yeah,
So it's pretty interesting, but
yeah.
um
That's pretty
uh
cool. So
yeah.
my question was just, so how do you think about phrasing? You were talking about Dr. Lonnie Smith, and he
Mm,
has a sense of timing and phrasing. Some
well,
people they just feel the phrase and they take a pause.
yeah.
Do you take a breath, or what do you do when you just hear a line? You
Yeah, sometimes I while I'm playing with a solo, just
sure.
just really just letting the music breathe. Like sometimes like you said, I would just take the breath, especially for you since you play one instrument, so it's easy for
Oh
you.
yeah. Yeah, man. I just played as I think it was Jimmy Cobb he was doing an imitation of Miles,
Mm,
as Miles was referring to Coltrane, because Coltrane used to play those long solos, and
exactly.
he said, "Just take the horn out your mouth."
Right. Naturally, exactly.
So that's awesome. Well, I'm thinking, have you ever done duo organ performances with anybody?
I actually have done one with Doc actually, with Dr. Lonnie
Wow.
Smith.
Okay.
And that was when he gave me the endorsement at 13. So like and it's funny. Like we were shooting for this TV show, Young Marvels,
Yeah.
on Ovation TV. Shout out to everyone there.
Yeah.
And what happened was, we, we were going to the music store that I was going to at the time, which is the Harlem Store of the Arts.
Okay.
And what happened was I arrived there and I was surprised, and there was two organs, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? So next thing you know, Doc is there,
Oh man.
and we just jamming together in front of an audience and all that stuff, and out of nowhere he's like, he just gave me the paper with the endorsement on it
That is amazing.
during the performance.
Wow. From one of your mentors too. So that was a very memorable experience, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure that must have been a turning point in your mind in terms of like how, what some of the possibilities are in terms of
Right, and it was
making music.
just, and I've been blessed to keep performing,
Oh yeah.
and I can't wait to see what's happening next.
Oh
But
yeah.
I've also done we've even done three organs on one stage. It was me,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
which you can imagine is pretty loud in terms of volume, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
worked
yeah.
out. It
Okay.
was with me, Rhoda Starr, and Corey Henry. We were in France,
Oh my
and
goodness.
imagine
must
that, and one drummer.
Oh
Oh no!
that must have been unbearable. Like the three of you all? My goodness. I've heard
Mm.
Corey play too, man.
Oh
He's fantastic.
yeah,
And
crazy. It's very good.
yeah, so the three of you all together. I wish is that recorded on YouTube anyway? I'm gonna check that out if somebody documented that.
Maybe right? Maybe type all three of us in France or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Somebody's always got a
curious.
phone. So
Mm-hmm.
so what I'm thinking is, so okay, so you probably know Joey DeFrancesco as well,
Yeah,
right?
I've seen him multiple times.
Oh, okay. So have you ever done any hangs down in Philly? With Joey and the crew down there or elsewhere? I don't know.
I've seen him a lot in New York. I've seen him perform at Dizzy's and at Birdland and at other venues. But I would love to, go down there one day and
Okay.
hang.
All right, Joey, you hear that, man. Shout
Right,
out to
Joey,
Joey.
let's do it.
Yeah, man. You
Yeah.
guys, there won't be anything left when you guys get off the stage. So I'm thinking that would be a great hookup, the Philly hookup and Christian McBride, that whole crew.
Oh yeah,
That was he and Joy used to hang together.
yeah.
So yeah. All right. So let's talk about future dreams in music, future interests. Any interest in writing vocal music? Got
Mm.
any interest in?
I'm trying to get better at that. I'm good at doing the music part, vocals or lyrics. I mean, vocally wise, vocal wise, I can do come up with notes
Sure.
and stuff like that. But as far as lyrics, I don't know. I'm not that good at coming up with lyrics to music, unless
Well,
it's like stuff that's already been written down, and you say, hey, arrange this, and I'm
I
like,
hear
okay, that I'm
Yeah.
good with.
Yeah. Well, I tell
But
you what, man.
that'll be great to do.
Yeah, I mean, some of the best composers were not always also lyricists, and so that's where you get these teams. You get the
Right.
Rogers and Hart, and you get the Strayhorn and Ellington,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
people work together, and I think that can be even a greater force, for good in terms of musical composition than otherwise, because you get the creativity with the lyric, and then sometimes the musicians have to alter the music a little bit to fit the lyric, and you find yourself really kind of having an interplay, which I think is really unique. So well, we'll see what the future holds, man. You're pretty young, so
Thank you.
you got a bright future ahead of you. And there's so much music out there, different styles, orchestral writing. I don't know if you ever thought about writing for larger groups,
Yeah, I mean,
different types.
I've done that already.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there's a documentary that actually released on my birthday on April 3rd, where it talks about how I did an orchestral piece and it was able to be performed by an orchestra in Bulgaria, and
Oh, nice.
I was able to sit in virtually, and there's a whole lot of other things um, that goes on in documentary, including me doing some arranging with vocals as well. So
Nice.
it all works out, and it's on allarts.org. It's called Matthew Whitaker About Tomorrow. You can stream it on a lot of various platforms, including Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Google Cast, or whatever. And yeah, really
About
excited about that.
tomorrow.
Yes, Matthew Whitaker About Tomorrow, allarts.org. You can also watch it online as well, on demand.
Oh, yeah, we got to check that out then.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice. Okay, cool. Writing for
Thank you.
orchestras, that's no small task. That's
Oh
a
no.
lot of stringed instruments and a lot of
A lot of instruments in general.
yeah, a lot of orchestration and all of that going on. So what does it look like for the months ahead? Do you have a busy summer schedule?
Yeah, looks like we're going to be going on tour in Europe. Really excited about that. I
Nice.
believe we're going to Germany and France and other areas, and we're going to be doing some stuff in the United States as well. So keep a lookout. MatthewWhitaker.net.
Yes.
And go on the tour page, and you can see the schedule.
There you have it, folks. MatthewWhitaker.net.
Yes,
Check it out.
not com or web, it's net.
.net.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm excited for you, bro. I'm excited that the
Thank
doors
you.
have opened up for musicians to get
Same to
out.
you too.
Yeah, man. We're playing gigs again. How about that?
There you go. There we go.
Yeah,
Any
so-
questions? Any
yeah,
questions?
Yeah. So Julia, she's going to bring some
Yeah.
questions. We're going to introduce Julia back to the crowd, and she's
Yeah.
going to share.
Shout out to Julia and
Yeah.
everyone else on staff as well.
That's
Thank
right.
you, thank you. Well, we do have a couple questions. I want to remind folks, if you're joining us on Facebook, put your questions in the comment section.
Yeah.
And if you're joining us on Zoom, use the Q&A. We have a comment on
Yeah.
Facebook. Manuel says he's already got his tickets and he's excited
Wow.
to show.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you, Matthew, isn't there another documentary too called Thrive?
Thrive.
Hmm.
I thought I had read there was a short documentary and the name of it was Thrive. Maybe they changed the name and it's the About Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Was that the recording session with Jon Batiste and Regina Carter?
No, the recording session was for the album.
Right.
I'm trying to think what we meant.
Must be just-
live.
I bet you it was an early post on
Probably, yeah. I'm
and
sorry.
then-
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember.
yeah. So okay, so let me get to the questions here.
Yeah.
Actually, Greg wants to know,
Yes.
was being a drummer helpful in your ability to learn and play the Hammond B3?
Good question.
Great
I mean,
question.
yeah. I mean, I think because I started playing drums at 6, so I just getting the coordination down, like, just y'all can't see me, but just getting the motion of putting my foot, down and getting the motion with putting my foot on the pedals and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way that helps out, Great question though, but I think that really helps.
That's a really insightful question.
Right.
The rhythm would be hooked up, maybe with the left hand or with some aspect
Right.
of playing organ, or just playing a melody with the pedals and the bass,
There you go. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Great question.
fantastic. Oh yeah.
Matthew, you learned to play music. You kind of played by ear. Did you also
Yes.
use? I know there's Braille music. Did
Yes.
you also use Braille music as well?
Yes, I have. Especially when it comes to classical music. Normally, I would use that just in case if I really want to make sure that, I'm playing something, correctly, or just double checking, the notes and the rhythms and stuff like that. But it is a challenge to read. You can't just be like, okay, here's the music, read it, play it. Nuh-uh.
I see.
It's not right. It don't work like that.
I see.
It's a whole process.
I
So do you
believe it.
have to, because obviously you use your hands to read the Braille and then you use your hand
Yeah.
to play the piano. Do you have to read it and kind of memorize it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Read one hand and play the part. Read the other hand, play the part, and just memorize it together. Like both hands. It's just ugh.
Wow.
Takes a long time. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
That's why my
Skill.
preferred method is
Complete
learning my
skill.
ear. Yeah.
Well, Karen wants to know if you will play something.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. What could I play? Should I just? I can play what we did with the sound check. I can do that. Let's see. Yeah. This is actually from my album Connections, and this is a song written by the late great Corea, and it's towards Spain. So you'll hear me and the track for the record.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
Bravo.
We
Wow.
needed Todd to pick up his saxophone and jam with you.
Oh man.
Island.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Denise says in all caps, OMG, Matthew, love that performance. Can't wait to see you in Indy.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
She says that they are going, she and her husband have tickets to the performance at the Palladium.
Wow.
Says it's a great stage, exceptional sound system, so you will hear
I
us
can't
from
wait.
the upper boxes cheering you on. And
Wow.
he said, we are in our 70s and have loved Stevie from childhood and thrilled to be introduced to you.
Wow. Thank
Fantastic.
you. Wow, that's
Yeah.
really amazing. Thank you so
And
much.
Karen says, thank you so much for playing also.
Of
It sounds
course.
great. Oh, and on Facebook, you're getting millions of hearts for that.
What's up? What's up, Facebook? What's
Tell
going
you what,
on?
man.
Fun.
You know, I could
Oh.
tell that by the time the way you played that, we're really just getting started. This is just the beginning. Like what you just heard, I think that was just a snippet of what's to come because
Right. I don't want to
that
give too much away.
that's right. I mean, you're just getting started. So folks, when you come out, get ready. Fasten your
Yeah.
seatbelt.
Yeah. That was Marcos on guitar, Karim on bass,
Yeah.
Isaiah's on drums. Nega Santos was actually on percussion
Okay.
for the album. My guy
Very nice.
Ivan will be on percussion, and Johnny Steele will be on drums for the show as well. So
Yeah. I love
really
that
excited.
tune.
Yeah.
That's one of the first tunes I played. So I did improvisation on. I remember that. I was in high school. You know, it's a
Wow.
beautiful tune, man. You know,
Yeah.
and your arrangement is great.
Thank you.
Reharmonization, reharm. You know, and I love that halftime bridge. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
You done. Gotta switch it up, you know?
That's
Yeah.
right. Very nice. Very
Matthew,
nice.
you are such an inspiration. I spied on your Facebook page and you posted a quote not too long ago and it said, believe in yourself even if no one else does. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I think that's such an inspiration.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Julia, I think we're looking forward to a fantastic show. For those of you who don't have tickets yet, you need to hurry up and do
Get
something
'em.
about this,
That's
know,
right.
because don't just sit on your hands because there may not be any left. So
Right.
come on
It's
out.
coming up. It's April 20th.
Yep.
You do still have some tickets left in different price levels, you know, to meet everybody's needs. And this is our last jazz talk, our last jazz performance of
Oh,
the
wow.
season. So you guys got to come out if you're loving some jazz.
Yeah. Wow.
right.
I'm honored to be closing it out. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Wow.
Well, Matthew, I want to thank you so much. I mean, for those of you joining us, Matthew, as he mentioned, is in school at Juilliard. He had class today and he had to rush home to join
Through the
us. and he
Lincoln
was so-
Tunnel.
wait,
Through
yeah.
traffic. No, GWB, but through traffic. But through
Oh, wait, I
traffic.
said April 20th. The
It's April
performance is
30th.
April 30th. Right. Right.
30th.
April
Yeah.
30th.
April 30th. Yeah, I didn't want to correct it because I wasn't. you
Right,
know.
right, right. I apologize. I just want you to get here even sooner than you were. But yeah, so he rushed, you know, back from Juilliard just to join us to do this. And you
Yeah.
truly are an inspiration and just
Yeah,
a
man.
wonderful,
Thank you.
you know, wonderful asset to the world. So, and Todd, we thank you for hosting.
Yes, Todd.
All righty,
He's
y'all.
in.
Rudy. Yes, good to see you
Yes.
guys. Matthew, great talking with you. I look forward to seeing
Thank
you
you.
live at the concert. And yeah, man, more of that.
So to everyone from the Center for the Performing Arts for our jazz season and all the genres we represent and present, we love you all and we hope
Love
to see
y'all.
you at the center sometime soon in person. Good
That's
night,
right.
everyone. Have
Good
a
night,
wonderful-
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.